welcome to Kim Reads. Today I will be reading The 12 Dancing Princesses. A long time ago, the king and queen of a far-off land had 12 beautiful daughters. There were 2 sets of twins and 2 sets of triplets. The eldest and youngest had been born singly. Every night, the princess asked if they might go dancing, but the king always said no. Then he locked their bedroom door for good measure. Each morning, the princess's shoes were tattered and full of holes, as if they had been dancing all night. Nobody could explain this, and the princesses would not tell. I could have danced all night, I could have danced all night. Then the king sent out an announcement to all the land, saying that anyone who could solve the mystery might choose one of the princesses as his wife. But if he could not find the answer in 3 nights, he would be imprisoned. Seems kind of harsh. Many princes from distant kingdoms came to try, but they always fell asleep before they could solve the mystery. After the 3rd night, they were thrown in prison. Again! Harsh! One day, Michael, a poor lad from the country, came to try his luck. He had walked a very long time on the hard roads to reach the castle. He was hungry and weary. Outside the gate, he came upon an old woman dressed in rags and carrying a wicker basket. She was stooped over, searching for something on the ground. Michael saw the coin she had dropped. He picked it up for her, and she thanked him humbly. "I haven't eaten in 2 days. Could you spare me something from your market basket?" Michael asked. The old woman smiled, showing her snaggle tooth, then reached into the basket and said, "Gladly, but I have something better for you than food. You have helped me, and now I will help you. Here is a cloak to make invisible. And above all, do not drink anything the princesses offer you." Michael wondered how the old woman knew he had come to solve the riddle of the princesses, but he took the cloak with thanks. When he reached the castle, Michael asked the king's permission to solve the mystery. He was taken to a bedroom near the princesses. The eldest, Aurora. Hail to the Princess Aurora. Brought him a small cake and a cup of wine that, unknown to Michael, contained a sleeping potion. Michael ate the cake and, remembering the old woman's words, only pretended to drink the wine. Then he stretched out on his bed as if asleep. The princess began to dress themselves in fancy clothes. They brushed their curls and decked themselves in jewels, laughing and singing all the while. But Alicia, the youngest, felt something was wrong. "Wait, I fear trouble," she whispered. "You only imagine it," said the doubting Aurora. When they were ready, Aurora walked up to one of the beds and knocked 3 times on the headboard. At once it sank into the floor. A long passageway ending in a staircase opened up the wall. "Hooray!" cried one of the triplets, and the princesses ran down the hall one after another. Michael jumped up, put on the cloak that made him invisible, and hurried after them. In his haste, he stepped on the hem of Alicia's dress. "Something's clutched my dress," she cried. You just caught it on a nail," Aurora scoffed. In a short while they came to a forest. The leaves of the trees were made of silver, and they glowed in the moonlight. They rushed together, making the music of their own. Michael snapped off a silver leaf and slipped it into his pocket. They passed through a second forest of trees with gold leaves, and then through a third with diamond leaves. At last they came to a castle whose highest towers were shrouded in a fog. 12 handsome princes waited outside and escorted the princesses into a large, beautiful ballroom. Everywhere there were lights and music. A long table was laden with wines, meats, poultry, breads, fruits, puddings, and cakes. The princess and princess ate and sipped their wine, and they began to dance. Michael ate and drank too, but they could not see him. Near the morning, the princesses said goodbye to the princes and promises to come again the next night. They rushed back to their own castle and up the stairway to their bedroom. Michael had run ahead. Back into his room, he slipped out his cloak and jumped into the bed. "See," Aurora said, peeking in, "all is well." Michael had such a wonderful time in the enchanted castle that began to wake before he told the king. The second night, everything happened as before. The time passed. As it passed through the forest of gold leaves, Michael snapped off one and put it in his pocket. On the third night, Michael began to follow the princesses one last time. This night, when they passed through the forest of trees with diamond leaves, he snapped off one and put it in his pocket. It made a cracking sound. "What's that?" asked Alicia, so alarmed that she trembled. But Aurora reassured her, saying, "It's nothing. You only imagined it." The princesses danced until dawn, and their shoes were full of holes again. Just before they left, Michael slipped off one of the golden wine goblets into his pocket. The next morning, the king summoned Michael to his court. Michael took the silver, gold, and diamond leaves and golden goblet to set before the king. "Do you know where my daughters danced their shoes away at?" asked the king. Michael told him about the enchanted castle and the 12 dancing princes. The king called for the princes to come to him. "Does this young man speak the truth?" the king asked his daughters. The princesses saw the leaves and goblet and knew they could not deny it. Besides, Aurora was now quite fond of Michael, and thought him more handsome than her enchanted prince. "Yes, father, it's true," she admitted. The king said to Michael, "Young man, you have done well. You may choose one of my daughters to be your wife, and someday my kingdom will be yours." Michael smiled at the two sets of twins. He smiled at the two sets of triplets, and he smiled at the pretty Alicia. Then he chose Aurora for his wife. Aurora smiled and said she would accept Michael's hand, for she knew she had fallen in love with him. Michael kissed her hand and said, with a voice full of feeling that he had loved to hear from the moment he first saw her. Then the two then knelt before the king to receive his blessing. Soon after, the royal wedding took place in the palace garden, and Aurora and Michael pledged their unending love for each other beside the garden's ornamental fountain. The ceremony was even grander and even more magnificent than the dancing and feasting had been in the enchanted castle. In time for the wedding festivities, the king had released from his dungeon the young princess who had failed to solve the mystery. Some returned to faraway kingdoms, but others, it is said, stayed and found wives among the 11 dancing princesses. Well, that's today's tale. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Bye.